let's go through this exercise, and I'll throw up. I made a tier maker because we're hip and we're cool
because you're the
like
best.
that. Let's tier some of these contenders. Can you see the screen, Grant?
Yeah.
Cool. So let's start with tier 5 is really, that would just be where we put all the other teams we won't discuss, but that's tier 5 is multiple years away from being multiple years away. So like the Wizards.
Yes.
Tier 4 is 1 to 2 years away. Tier 3 is, hey, it could maybe possibly potentially happen. Tier 2 is they could absolutely win it. And tier 1 is the championship inner circle. I think it's best to just work our way from tier 1 down.
Sure. So we got to go Denver, Boston, Milwaukee in that top tier, right? Do you disagree with any of those three?
Denver is definitely in there. I was clearly wrong about Boston. I was worried, and I apparently should not have been. There's health is the only thing that's going to slow them at this point.
Yeah.
Who else did you mention? You mentioned Milwaukee. Their defense has been. I'm going to throw them in here anyway.
I might be okay if we stop with Denver, Boston in that top tier, just for at the moment, like prisoner of the moment stuff.
All right, so you want to put them in tier? They have to be in tier 2 then.
They got it. Yeah, no lower than tier 2 because they could absolutely win it, right?
You mentioned a fourth team, no? Or was that it?
No, that was it. I think Golden State and Phoenix are in 1 or 2. I'd probably put both of them in 2.
We all know how I feel about Devin Booker. I get compliments all the time from Suns. It's always, you ever like, I know you're not on social media as much, but there are just fan bases that are in love with me or this podcast right now. And I always cherish it, but then I'm always just reluctant to like embrace it because there's going to come a time where they're so mad at us and they probably stop listening because our views don't align with theirs on their favorite team. I'm there with the Suns and Booker is my point. But like, we're already seeing with the Bradley Beal back stuff, Devin Booker is dealing with an injury. The fact that KD is proved to be the most durable of the three early on. So I think tier 2 I would have put them in tier 1 until we just saw 2 of their 3 best players miss most of the game.
Let's see all 3 of them play a game before we do that because we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. What do you want to do with? Oh, what was the other team? Golden State.
Golden State in tier 2. I think they just won 2 road games in a row, Dan. I don't know if that's ever happened before, or at least last year.
Well, I was going to say, do you know what their like plus minus is without Steph Curry on the floor?
Oh, it's off the charts. Like everything's upside down right now. All the starters are terrible and have massive negatives. It's like plus 40 something without Steph. Maybe. Am I in the neighborhood there?
I was asking you.
Yeah, no, I saw a chart this morning and it's just like this is the best starting 5 in the league last year of high usage groups and they're just getting crushed. And then the bench comes in and they win the game with the reserves.
I'll give you the Warriors in tier 2, but then you're going to have to give me the Cavaliers in tier 2.
I can deal with that.
But just because they have not even been remotely fully healthy yet. Yeah. And I'm watching Evan Mobley and some of its flickers, some of its moments. He had a huge game against the Pacers the other night that I saw. I'm all in. And I mean, I was all in to begin with. So I have them in tier 2. Is there anyone? So here's a team. And if we forget somebody, we'll throw them in there. What do we do with the Sixers?
Well, I was going to say, what do we do with the Lakers? Because they were clearly a tier 2 team preseason by most accounts.
Do you know what's interesting is, and people can't seem to grasp this, is like they're better postseason team than regular season team.
True. Yeah.
Because I still think they belong in tier 3 is where I'd put them.
What's the definition of tier? Hey, it could maybe possibly potentially happen. Ooh. Yeah, sure. We're talking about winning a title.
Yeah, and like you need LeBron and AD to remain durable because it's clear that this LeBron minutes cap, it might work for the first 3 quarters, but it's not working in the 4th at this point. And can I defend Anthony Davis for a minute?
Please do.
I had to write something last year and it went beyond the whole every other game AD. There was legitimate inquiries about like, what can AD give you on offense from night to night? But some of the discourse that I've seen on him, like what people want him to do, he's not built to do. Mm-hmm. Like if you want him to bang in the post or like be attacking and finishing through traffic all the time, do you know what's going to happen? Like his body type would need to be different and he's not going to be the defender that he is, right? Like he's not Joel Embiid. Mm-hmm. Like he's not like he's the way he's able to fly all over the court and teleport on defense. Part of that comes with the territory of he's built this way. He's long, he's strong, but he's still spindly. Maybe he's fragile too, but that's because he can be all over the place as well. If you're looking for him to create and kind of like bang with guys, that's just not like that's going to come at an opportunity cost, not just of his health, but like of what he is on defense. Excuse me. And yeah, there's a real concern about, well, if he's kind of more of a play finisher and his jumper will come and go. All right, but like that's the player that he is, and that's still a pretty damn good player when he's healthy. I feel like we need to move on from wanting Anthony Davis not to just being someone he's not, but someone that he shouldn't be based on what his role is defensively.
I just like I tend to tune out of the like I get it, he's frustrating. He goes whole halves without scoring sometimes, but like he's probably going to be the best defensive player in any postseason series he's involved in, and like that's all I need. That's what matters to me. And that's what matters to the Lakers. So I think we're done with tier 1 and 2 then, right? Because I think we go Lakers, Sixers in tier 3.
Sixers. So even the Sixers, like we don't need to nudge them down. We can't include the possibility of a trade, but
I just think you have the MVP, you have Maxey breaking out, you've got capable NBA players in between it, and you have upside if you get a third star. So like we're talking tier 3. It's not like we're trying to get them into tier 1 here.
There are 3 teams before we start to see where the Clippers fit in all this that I'd like to ask you about.
Okay.
What do we do with the Dallas Mavericks?
I'm not going to overreact. The offense is awesome. All the same questions I had before the season are still there when I had them, a little bit better than 500. I don't think Dallas can be in tier 3. I think, wow. I just like, if the bar is, hey, it could maybe possibly potentially happen. I mean, just by the letter of that law, I guess you put them there, but I'm not ready to come off my priors of skepticism. Kyrie Irving hasn't even done anything weird yet. So like, that I have to factor that in. Are you trying to get him into tier 3? Is that what you're saying?
I guess maybe I should have left tier 4 a little bit more open-ended than 1 to 2 years away.
Right. That doesn't apply to them.
They're 1 to 2 years away from having to trade Luka Doncic.
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, and also this trade hurts their championship chances more than it improves the Clippers' championship chances. Maybe
that's true.
So tier 4 seems fair for them.
They're borderline.
Yeah, the other 2 of the other teams, Memphis is just like,
I mean,
they don't have Ja. They're
right.
not going to have Steven Adams for the rest of the year. The offense does not look good.
It's bad.
0-4.
Mini. I didn't want to take it, but mini victory lap because I was so sure the offense would struggle with that once Adams was hurt because he quietly meant so much. Memphis can't be 3. I guess you got to go.
Even if you're going to cake in, like Ja will come back. No,
I don't think so.
Hey, look, you don't have to. Except for this offseason when I smashed their over and their entire future crumbled. So they're tier 4.
I think so. We're going to have a really crowded tier 4 because I think tier 3, like we're saying they could win a title. And I'm almost out of teams there. So the team we haven't hit. Well, what are the other 2 you want to get to before we?
Miami.
Is Miami tier 3?
I don't know.
That's my first thought.
Well, you think it's tier 3? Yeah. Do we have to like give them credence because of what they
because they keep making the finals? I think we should probably put them in tier 3, even though
they're. I mean, they've been a wreck. They're 1-3 at the moment. I'll give them tier 3. They look like a tier 4 team on paper.
Yes.
Is what I would say.
We both gave them an F for the offseason too. So, and here we are, heat culture.
The Knicks.
I mean, if Miami's 3, the Knicks can't be lower than 3. I think the Knicks.
I was going to say.
You think it's 2?
I think Julius Randle has done a very good job passing the ball for the most part this year, but it does kind of seem like we might be on that every other year track of where I wish we were doing this 10 games into the season and maybe we revisit it like 20 games or something because this exercise is instructive. We'll give the Knicks tier 3.
Okay.
I have many concerns about them though. You know who I'm not concerned about? Quentin Grimes or RJ Barrett though.
Okay.
Very high.
That's a good place to be.
And look, Jalen Brunson will start hitting more of his shots.
Yeah.
Our tier 3 is fair. Anybody, I mean, I'm noticing now I forgot more teams than I thought. What do we do with Sacramento?
That was the next team I wanted to talk about. I think you cannot go lower than 3 for them.
The De'Aaron Fox injury is wild, but it's only it's not considered serious. I think tier 3 is right for them. Also, I don't know what I was expecting their offense to be, but it's just still thermonuclear AF times infinity.
They're gonna score. I think this is another team that like so much of the preseason analysis is bearing out. Like defense, not great. Offense can be awesome. And also they're due to get hurt. And here we are. Like there's just, I hate that we were right about that last one.
Do you know who has the best half court offense in the NBA right now?
Tell me.
The Clippers without James Harden.
Okay, what do we do with the Clippers? We have to
I think the other team that I think just fits into this mold. Oh wait, no, Minnesota. That might be all of them. What do we do with two more? Minnesota.
I kind of like Minnesota in tier 3. We're going to overpopulate tier 3.
Look, I think they belong. I want to put them in tier 4 because of that god awful loss to the Hawks. They just like the transition defense looks like it's going to be bunk. And I don't know, like maybe as Jaden McDaniels plays in more games that will come to bear. I'll give them tier 3 because I was high on them entering the regular season. But as a team that just like, it feels like their souls can be crushed on any given moment and they're just going to play apathetic inexplicably. They're the team that's right there.
They're fragile. So I want to take an easy one off the board. We love the Thunder, but they're clearly 1 or 2 years away. So we have to just put the Thunder in tier 4.
Well, I was actually going to get into that. Sam Presti was a liar. I don't know if they actually borrowed wins from the future. They're just
they're just good.
They're just good now. That was one of the teams I wanted to focus on today before James Harden threw everything. I'm watching Chet Holmgren. He's stronger than I thought. Defenses don't know what to do when he has the ball in his hands and he's spinning. Kaysen Wallace has been defending his ass off. Isaiah Joe's been making an impact even when he's not hitting shots. Usman Jang is going to be the best player alive.
Imagine if Chet Holmgren gets fatter, as Jokic said he needed.
Your boy J-Dub leading second units.
Hey,
how about that?
He can do everything.
I think the last one I was going to have, unless you think that like. Dude, the Nets and the Hawks are weird. Are they like tier? I mean, I don't know what the Hawks. I don't know.
I think. Well, we got to do New Orleans here. I think because
I don't tier 3.
I'm not comfortable. Well, no, because I can't do that. I can't put them in tier 3 because
I'm going to do it anyway because that's where they belong. You've been overridden. You got the Timberwolves in tier 3. I get the Pelicans. In
fair.
Tier 3.
That's fair. So we need to do the Clippers. We got to figure. This is what this whole thing has been about here.
So they're better than tier 4. Like you're taking them over the Grizzlies, the Mavericks, and the Thunder, right?
Yeah, I think so. But can we? I can't get to tier 2 with them. I don't think. I think we're just gonna have to stuff another team in tier 3 unless you can make. How about upside wise?
What
tier
team? 2? Well, here's my thing. What team in tier 3 are you willing to take over the Clippers right now?
To like in terms of likelihood of winning a championship?
Yeah.
I'm still going to take, New Orleans is an interesting comparison because I have kind of the same health.
You just wanted to put them in tier 4 though.
Well, I know. So I think if you're just talking upside, and I guess all these guys are healthy at the moment, whereas New Orleans has already had injuries, just not to the guys you'd expect necessarily. I think you probably do need to put the Clippers in tier 3. I can't get to tier 2 just because I just don't have faith in A, James Harden, and B, the collective health of everybody else.
This just looks off though. It's like, so if we were to rank the teams within tier 3.
Oh boy.
So would you have the Clippers at the front of tier 3?
Championship equity? I'd probably have the Lakers first in that group.
I think they're ahead of the Sixers. I know coming out of the East, maybe coming out of the East isn't harder because like there's the Nuggets in the West and then everybody else. And in the East, it's kind of the Bucks and the Celtics and the Cavs.
I think that's right. I think you got to have the Sixers after the LA teams.
So yeah. And then, the rest of the order doesn't really matter as much. I'm going to leave them in tier 3, but I think the Lakers and Clippers are kind of like that line of demarcation where if there was a tier 2.5, we might have them there. Because I want to put the Clippers in tier 2.
Oh, you're so reactive, Dan. You can't do that.
You want to put the Warriors in tier 2 just because they won 2 consecutive.
Well, I was ready to put them in tier 1, but I didn't want to get too crazy right away.
I think this is collectively. I think this is right. The Clippers are somewhere between like that second and third tier.
The sign of a good compromise is nobody's totally happy. So we've nailed it. We got to do the rest. Do we need to do? Yeah, let's do the rest. Let's be completists here.
All right. I wasn't going to do the rest, but let's knock off the bottom tier.
Yeah.
The Hornets.
Detroit's down there.
Come on, Bull. They're down there. Come on.
Yeah, that's a bet. Why not do it?
The
The Spurs
Rockets.
probably need to be down there.
Mm,
If you want to talk, you know what? Let's put him in tier 4 because who knows what Wemby's doing 2 years from now.
yeah, imagine Wemby in 2 years. First of all, he might be 8 feet tall in 2 years. He's still growing.
Right. Got to factor that in. Portland is tier 5.
Yes.
Um,
If there was a tier 6, I'd probably throw Toronto in it. I have Houston on here twice. Don't ask me why, because I like this Rockets
you like
logo.
the different logos.
It's like an alternate logo, so to pay no attention to that. Anyone else belong in tier? I mean, the Raptors. Well, they're tough.
I don't know. I think I could just put all the rest of these teams, except for the Rockets, option B, in tier 4.
So what would be your locks for tier 4? I think the Hawks.
Hawks for
the
sure.
Hawks could be tier 3.
Yeah, they could.
I think the Pacers belong in tier 4.
I'm okay with that. They're closer to those teams than they are these bottom. What do we have? Bottom 6.
And that's like kind of the Magic, definitely. Then if the Spurs
Sure.
and the Thunder are here.
Yeah, I think everybody else. I mean, Utah might be closer to multiple years away than 1 to 2, right?
No, they are, because Danny Ainge. I think Jazz fans and all of us are kind of realizing this year is what everyone thought last year was going to be.
Right. Good point.
Toronto, the talent on paper, they could be tier 4, but it's like they're going to implode, right?
Yeah. I'm good either way. I think Brooklyn needs to be tier 4. Toronto can be 5 just to keep it even there. Look at that. Same number of teams in 3, 4, and 5.